Hello. Okay, give me 1 second. I am still getting used to going live, so I am about to send this link to my friend just to make sure that my audio is okay. How do I do that? Share. Okay. All right. Now, if you don't want to hear me talk, that's totally fine. You can, play your what's it called? Music in the background. I'm going to be drawing, so you can listen to me talk to myself, or you can play your music in the background. Totally fine with me. You should also be able to see my screen now. Hello. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Perfect. Um, so yeah, now that we have this up, you guys can see my manga. So basically, I had a manga, and I accidentally deleted all the original files. So I am in the process of redrawing it. And so I have the first chapter done. I do have to add the dialogue to this page. So I'll go ahead and do that real quick. I'm thinking that I want to do a new cover as well, because I just feel like this is just a new path and everything. So I do like my old cover a lot, but I think I want to make a new one. So we'll see about that as well. But overall, I am very excited. At first, I was devastated when I lost everything because, like, the week before, I was like about to upload the most recent chapter. I had prayed really hard. I was like, this is going to be the year that everything goes right for my art career. Like, everything. I was manifesting it. And the following week, this happens, and completely devastated. But as I was redrawing it, I resolved myself because I tried everything to recover it, couldn't do it. So I resolved myself to redrawing it. And as I was redrawing it, I was like, this looks so much better than what I had originally. And it's crazy because, I've spent 4 years really honing my art skills, but also working on this story. And of course, I've learned so much along the way. So what I had previously doesn't hold a candle to what I have right now. So it turned into something that was originally devastating to now being something completely fulfilling and exciting. And I did not think that things would turn out this way, but they did. And now I'm very happy about that. So before I forget, I'm going to go ahead and add in these speech bubbles. Yeah, it is manifesting. We talked about this before that, I think it was God's way of intervening and saying that if you really mean business, then this is what it's going to take. What you have right now is not ready to be put out into the world in the way that you want it to. So I'm going to force you to make it so that it is ready. So I just think that this was divine intervention in a way that I wasn't recognizing it at first. But, we're here now. And I had no other choice but to recognize it. So let's get these speech bubbles in here. It's going to be really quick because I already know what they're supposed to say. I'll have it up on the screen over here. So let's start with this. Just try to change everything. Let's bring this down. Jaunt. The universe does know. Trust in the universe. Use your discernment. And speaking of using your discernment, we already know that Bria is going to have to edit because I am the typo queen. Okay, definite I think only has one F. Definite? Is that an A? I always want to put an A in definite. I don't know why. That was, and I didn't write the S there. What's happening? All right. That was definitely a bomb. Definitely. I'm gonna hyphenate that word so that it looks better on paper. Exclamation point. No. Yeah, I it's one of those things that, like, once I wrote it, I was like, that's not right. I don't want this. I don't know where I want this bubble. I think I want it over here. Okay. This here. Okay. Cool. It's gone. Like I said before, you guys, I keep it quiet in here. You're just singing that. It's gone. I keep it quiet in here just because of YouTube flagging and copyright strikes and blah, 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 all that jazz. So if you want to play some music in the background, feel free to do so. I also like it that way because if it's quiet, it makes it easier for you to at least listen to the music that you want to listen to and not what I have designated for everybody. I currently cannot find my headphones anywhere. I have these janky Skull Candy headphones that I've had for years and they work phenomenally, but they look bad. They look bad. And they're my favorite headphones though, and I cannot find them. And then my Beats just stopped connecting to all of my devices. So don't know what's happening with that. Okay. Okay. If you're not familiar with my manga, it is called Love in Dark Places. It is about what's happening there? Okay. It is about four sisters who they are they had to leave home at a very early age because their parents were trash. And in order to make ends meet, they became a hit group in the underworld. And so now, as adults, well, minus this middle sister, May, as adults, they've made the decision to try to live normal lives. But, when your whole life is centered around the most vile people, it's kind of hard to just like even know what normal is. And so that's the struggle. And pretty much everybody in this manga is terrible. Like, no one is inherently good in this manga. And I kind of wanted it that way because right now, the time that we're living in, I think everybody is so, what's the word? They are so self-righteous and think that they have the right to be so judgmental. Everybody's got their own stuff that they're dealing with. And that's not a slight, like none of us are perfect human beings. And so I wanted to make a story that also just reflected the reality that we're living in currently, that nobody is perfect and everybody's a little messed up. But there's good in a world where everybody's, just a tad bit terrible. I strive to be a better version of myself every day. Whether I succeed or not, only the next day can tell. But that's what I wanted to portray. And so even with these sisters, you think that they have like great relationships because they're sisters that take care of each other and work together, but they do not get along the best all the time, especially with all these growing pains and changes happening. All right. So there wasn't much here. Did want to add some effects though. Let me see. I know I downloaded some new effects, but I don't know if I imported them. Tis the question that must be asked. I don't know why I just spoke like Dracula. Okay, hold on. Let me check. Right there. Back, forth and forth. Let me see you go back, forth and forth. Let me. Okay, here we go. I have found the brush I'm looking for. I think. It's alright. It's not. What frame am I in? It's this one. Okay. It's supposed to be like breath, like she's breathing. I probably should look at a reference for it too. I think that's fine. Yeah. Yeah, that looks good. Cool. Cool beans. Save that. Now, do I work on this new cover or do I work on these sketches? I think I also did really well on these sketches. I'm kind of proud of myself. Let me ideate for the cover again. Oh, cover. Okay, cool. Thank you. We're on the same page with that then. So I struggle with drawing ensembles and like groups. And I think that's why I've been like trying to figure out what type of cover I want. Because ultimately, like, usually you have one main character. But this is, I have multiple main characters. And I want to give them all the same amount of shine. But I don't know, I keep feeling like I'm not doing it right. But also, in order to create like a good character, like cover or like just illustration in general, where you have multiple characters at the forefront, you have to be good with dynamic posing because you gotta play Tetris with these characters, essentially. So it's kind of boring to just have them all just standing side by side. So you want to create something where there's levels and I kind of had that before, but there was still like this side by side, like they were all smushed together type of element to it. So I don't know. I think some of it's gonna have to go deal with maybe camera angle or let's see. Let's just start doodling. So maybe I could have it something kind of cropped. So these would look like these will end up being the twins. Yeah. No, it's alright. Giving twinenome. Okay. And so those are the twins. We got I think I want this one. You know what? Let's put this on a separate layer. That way I can move it around if I need to. And I'm going to switch colors as well. Mm-mm. Shift that down a bit. Crap, I still ended up drawing it on the same layer. What's wrong with me? Okay, but at least I got an idea of. Okay, there we go. New layer. I want the face, whatever, facing frame. This. Nope. Try it again. No, I'm working on Nora right now. I kind of already know how I'm going to place Yanni. I think not Yanni. May. I'm going to have this idea. Okay, let me. This is essentially. That's her body. Rib cage. Shoulder, breast. There we go. And then make another layer, and then bring this up. Okay, so something like this. It kind of looks like she's trying to be seen in a sense. And then if her hand is on the shoulder, then her thumb like that. Let me go back to Nora. Maybe kind of like this. Okay. So if I do it that way, shrink this down just a little bit. Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is not how it's going to be written, but something like that. Yeah. Okay. So then let's. I'm gonna take the symmetry ruler and cheat a little bit. And I don't do this when I do the final draft, but I usually do it on the sketch because it just makes things go by quicker. Okay. Just drawing the head at least. Let me turn that off now. Actually, no. Let me keep it on for a second. Do placement for the facial features. The reason why I turn the symmetry ruler off when I do the final is because sometimes those imperfections make the illustration just feel more natural. When things are too symmetrical, they sometimes come across a little bit lifeless. So I'll use it as a tool, but I try not to rely on the symmetry tool for too much of my process. Okay. And somebody asked me why I draw that like inner tear duct. I don't know. I like it. You don't see it too commonly in anime, but there are artists that do it. Kei Arana does it for Gashiakta. Tight Kubo has always done it with Bleach. He doesn't do it like every single time, but especially like certain angles, you'll see that inner tear duct. There's a few artists that do it. what is his name? Akira, the guy who does JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, does it. Now, another thing that makes portraits really expressive are hands. If you can incorporate hands in your portrait, that also makes things really expressive. So I would have her hand. Okay, so her middle finger would be touching just below her eye. Right. And then her outside, pop outside, pop. Okay, sorry. This finger, wait, do it again. This is a bent finger, so we got this part that's bent. Do the knuckles and then pinky. Okay. Now, I use a lot of layers. Sometimes a lot of these layers get deleted, but sometimes it's just because I'm working through stuff. And I'm terrible at drawing hands. So this is one of the times where I usually will come up with layers and stuff. So we do this. This pinky is completely turned in. Let me turn this pen down a little bit. Okay, hold on. I'm still struggling. Okay, so turn this way. Let's start with the palm. The thumb of the palm. It's here. I'm off to bed, but share the vid on Facebook. Have a great day. Thank you. Bye. Okay, so if the palm is sitting here, this is the palm of the hand. And this is the pinky. This is that second finger. This is the middle finger. And index finger is just a tad bit shorter than that middle finger. So that's fine. All right. I should probably make it just a tad bigger. Oh shit. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to cuss. Actually, okay, yeah. So this does need to be bigger because I need to get this to sit kind of underneath the chin. Yes. Okay. There we go. Mm. This is. So, okay, so the elbow should sit right about here. And then, okay. That's cute. I like that. I like that a lot. No, we can delete this layer because we don't need that. Okay. All right, that's good enough for now. So I'll just go ahead and merge these just to keep it clean. And typically when you have like an arm pressed up against you, this is the side that gets a little bit more smushed. Yeah. Okay. Now for her hair, I played around a lot with styles. Let me look at my references for this character. So I have character references. If you guys want to see my character references, you guys can go to my website. It's chelsea-simone-art.com. Literally like the first page are my characters, all my OCs. So you can scroll through those. Okay. Let me go back to the sketches. I see what'll look good with that particular like sketch. Do I want to have her hair down? Oh, excuse me. Okay. I have a few different hairstyles for Yanni, so what we'll do is have her hair down because I like the dimension it creates, showing how it's like being manipulated by the weight of Tori's head on her. I like that. And it also just like makes it so that there's less in the way of Tori. I mean, not Tori, of Nora. No, I think I do want to put a bow on her though. Because Yanni's kind of a Gyaru. Just very, not quite a Lolita Gyaru, but very, very loud in her fashion and cutesy, I would say. Okay, so we got that. Move that out the way for now. No. Okay, that's just gonna have to work for now. Let me go back to my reference. Okay. Mm-mm. That's not working for me. Okay. Hmm. Let me look in this camera. That's really what it is. Okay. Let's try this again. Okay. That's closer to what we need. I will work on that a little bit more later. I don't want to overwork it right now as I continue to overwork this. I don't want to overwork this right now though. Let's go back to the skirt right here. Delete that for now. Okay. Let me love you down. Now I'm going to just lower that a little bit just so it's not so blam in your face. No, these two characters are actually kind of like Irish twins. So there's this rare thing that happens where you can find out you're pregnant literally while you're giving birth to your child. Basically, their mom was pregnant with Yanni, who is the sister that I just drew. Her name's Yanni, and so Yanni was discovered to be in formation as Tori, the character I'm drawing right now, was being born. Um, it does not happen often at all. But basically, there is a 4-month age difference between Yanni and Tori. And so they are very close, very similar, but also very, very different. They love all the same things, but their personalities are completely different. And that shows in their wardrobe, the way I've decided to do their wardrobe. So often the two of them, oh, and they don't, obviously, because they're fraternal, they don't look identical. Um, but I've chosen to make their wardrobe very, very, very similar so that you can see, visibly see their connection, but also show some nuances in like the way they style things. So they'll often wear the same thing, but it's styled very differently. Um, they like dresses, um, but Tori tends to be a bit more edgy in the way that she dresses. So a lot of times she'll have like a music t-shirt on underneath, or like, I don't know, something along those lines. Make it ripped. Let's see something. If she decided to scratch, one, two, three, four. She's also very just nonchalant about pretty much everything. So I got her like scratching her head while they're taking a picture. I don't like how that looks. This will probably get reworked too. Before I do the final, but okay. Okay. Kind of got that together. Also think I want to raise that's kind of hard. Okay. Yeah. I think that's also part of the problem. She should be raised up a bit. We don't talk about Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno. It's our wedding day. There wasn't a cloud in the sky. Just gonna ignore all of that as if I never drew it. Something like that. All right, leave it alone. Pretty sure this is not how this is gonna look by the time this is all done, because I'm not particularly happy with this. I don't know. Yeah, it's still too like posed. If that all makes sense. It does not make any sense. I feel like all right. Shut it all down. Okay. Let's try something else. I'm looking at my references. All right, let us see here. Mhm. Mm, how do I approach this? Mhm, mm-mm. Okay. This looks like it doesn't make sense, but it does, I think. I think it does. Okay. I'm gonna leave that part alone because it's gonna be really difficult to render. So now the next part I have. Let's see. 2, 3. Okay. Okay. Bring that down. And then this is the floor. This is where Tori's legs are. I wanted to draw her kind of like leaning forward, hands on her thighs. So that's the case. And she's bent at the knees. And something like this. If this is the case, and say I want her shoulders here. So cage that. Okay, so that is more or less, I think, I want it to look, but perspective wise, she should be smaller because she's in the background. Yes. Yeah. That makes sense. Okay. So now I'm gonna work this out a little bit more. I'm gonna cover those up so I can just focus on this right here. So what I want to do is see all of my references. Okay. Or do we have our hands behind our back? Let me think. Let me zoom out again. Open those up. Dang it. Okay, I think I'm going to change it. All right. Walk with me, y'all. I do think I want her hands behind her back, though. Because I'm changing this, I'm gonna have to do another sketch layer to render this new pose a little further. But I think this Okay, I am like so irritated right now because I can't figure out the posing I want for Nora. This is driving me insane. She's always the one that I like struggle with the most, to be honest. Oh, okay. So that original pose that I had before. This one, yeah. I'm gonna flip it. Okay. I'm gonna leave it right up here just as like reference. And then let's see here. Gosh. Oh, okay. And then I can make this kind of like, okay, kind of have a vision now, I think. Mm. Mm. It's still not working. It's still not working. Okay, what about this? works actually. All right. Finally. So now I'm gonna put all these sketches in a folder. We'll just close it for now, and then on top of that folder, we'll have this, and these will be like our liner and stuff, clothing. So let's see, anatomy. Okay. Now, I want these to kind of look like, what's it called? I kind of want this to look like an Adidas ad, if that makes sense. So that's the comments. Like this one's going to be a little bit easier to do, at least facially, because this one was one of the easier poses, so. key. All right. Let's see here. Okay. Now, do I want... Yeah, I think we can do it like that. Trying to figure out how low I wanted the pants, and then I stopped talking out loud for some reason. And what kind of pants? I always draw her like really sexy and like scantily clad, but I wanted to add some more balance. I didn't want the pants to be too low. In fact, I think I'm gonna go for a more baggy look on these pants. Okay, I'll work on how that looks later. I'll get a reference for that because I'll try to find a reference for that, I should say. I don't even know, like, I wanted. Should I pull or forward some? I feel like I should, yeah. Yeah. Okay. I like that better. It's more aesthetic. Something like that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is folder, pop these into a folder. I can duplicate that folder. Okay, what's that? Okay, and then this is May. So we're going to delete. All right, that's cool. So now I need to work on Laura's face a little bit more. That means I need to go back to my references. And you look at this running. This one I need to reference for running hands through hair. So, okay. Go back to my pink because I like working with pink. So I think that's the first thing I'm going to do is get this hand together. Still not feeling this. Okay. Hmm. How's the knuckle? Okay. Hmm. Okay. Mhm. I feel like this hand is gonna be one of the things I have to work on throughout. I'm gonna keep coming back to this hand, but as of right now, it's not the worst thing on the planet. Mhm. I feel like pupils are really hard to draw. More so like from a directional point of view. Like it is hard to get that direction right sometimes. And then your characters can come out looking cross-eyed if you're not careful. Okay. Okay. I feel like I've been working on this forever. Okay. I think I'm gonna stop here. Yeah. Okay. Am I gonna stop here? I keep saying I'm gonna stop here, but I'm still going. Do I want to stop here? I don't think I do. I don't think I do. I lied, y'all. Okay. I'm gonna call it quits now because I definitely need to focus on her face, on Yanni and Tori's face, and those are the ones on the right. And I don't have energy to do it right now. So I'm gonna take a break and come back to this in our next live. If you stuck around or just slid in for a minute, I appreciate it. All right, bye.